Look, when you have a situation where there is a concerted effort to stigmatize an ethnic nationality and blame them for everything that goes wrong, and that ethnic nationality in response now say, okay, you know what? So that they will not say that it is we who are causing problem. Please stay out of any wahala that is being orchestrated. I can't blame them. If the Igbo man is saying, I don't have any problem with tinubu, I'm not part of any protest against the government, I can't blame them for saying that. I grew up in an era where whenever there was any problem, the first thing people did was to loot. And who are the people who lost when shops and markets were looted or burnt? It was the Igbo, because those are that's the merchant class in Nigeria. Long time ago, when Nigeria had not become the evil forest that it is today, it was just in its infancy at that time. The Igbo man learned that the government has nothing for him. So he learned to survive on his own. You will rarely ever find an Igbo man applying to the civil service or looking for salary job. So the average one, even the ones I went to university with, they will go and attach themselves to somebody in the market. They will learn a trade. So they learned to do without government. They learned to discount the government completely, which means that the Igbo man is better equipped than any other Nigerian to cope with our current circumstances, where the government has become completely useless. The Igbo man was already prepared for the uselessness of the government. So now that he is prepared for it, and everybody else have now decided to stigmatize the Igbo man, I can't blame the Igbo man for turning around and saying, it's none of my business, oh, enjoy your government. He didn't enjoy anything from the government before. So for somebody, and I'm talking about the average Igbo man who is like me and you. I'm not talking about the Ojius or Kalus of this world or the Okorochas of this world who have always fed on the grievances of Ndi Igbo and made money by appeasement of government and then presuming to speak on behalf of. I'm not speaking to those ones. I'm speaking for the average man on the street who grew up believing that he has no portion in Nigeria, which was what fed the Biafran spirit and the demand for Biafra even 50 years after the Civil War. So I'm not speaking to the man on the street of Ala Igbo. I'm not speaking to the trader in Alaba or at Aspanda or at Ladipo. All those ones, they have always lived with the mentality of being victims of the system. So when a victim of the system is telling you, leave me out of your protest, go and deal, because he wasn't gaining anything from the system in the first place. So if he wasn't gaining anything from the system in the first place, he has nothing to lose if the situation becomes... The only thing that is happening now is that more victims are being recruited into the Nigerian mess. So why should he, who was always a victim, further victimize himself by joining those he believes are responsible for his victimhood? Unfortunately, it only assures the victimization of everybody. But it is now incumbent on those of us who know better to help him to understand that, yes, we understand that was yesterday. But for us to all come out of this together, you would have to move away from that pain to now walk. Now at least everybody is now suffering. Yorubas will say that it means that until suffering is democratized, it is not possible to end it. The suffering in Nigeria has now been democratized. Long ago, I predicted that the Nigerian revolution will start in northern Nigeria. The only reason I said so at the time is because the North had always been the reason we could not find common purpose to fight the evil. But now that the person in power in the presidency is not a northerner, and is at best a nominal Muslim, and the suffering has now been fully democratized, the northern street, I'm not talking about the northern elite, the northern street has no interest in forbearing and continuing to suffer. Why is it that all of a sudden everything that they tolerated during the years of Muhammadu Buhari is no longer tolerable? Have you considered that? Look, I don't know how long it's going to take. But if this mess continues, the problem that will consume this government will start in northern Nigeria. It's not going to start in the east. The Igbo man has more or less taken a position. I was always a victim. Go and solve your problem. Leave me alone in my little corner. If you lie, steal all the money in the world. You still take that money to a market to go and buy something. And who will you find in the market when you get there? You find the Igbo man there. Whether it's food you are buying, whether it's building material, whether it's car, you find the Igbo man is there in the market waiting for you. So he's already in a position of advantage. So why would he disadvantage himself unless you people show him a readiness for change? So that is where we are right now. It might seem like nothing is going to happen, but something will definitely happen. This system is not sustainable.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are watching us from. This is the National Politics on the Street. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, share, comment for more political discourse. Yesterday, Dele Farotimi has come out heavily to criticize the northern elite, saying that they should let the Igbos be, and the Igbos are heavily marginalized, and then let them face the consequences of their Emilokon and let the Igbos be. So he has said that the Igbos should not come out and protest for anything, that they should allow the Igbos be. Since they refuse to give the Igbos region the president, how can you react to this, sir?
Yes, I think
sorry.
This issue has been on content for a very long time. It has even gotten to the point where people are beginning to see different perspectives to it, you know. We know what was actually happening, you know, and we know the game Nigerians are manipulating, you know, to make sure that this Nigeria does not work. Nigeria is not working because Nigerians themselves don't want it to work, you know. And what is happening in River State too is an eye-opener. You can see the enormous zeal of the youth trying to make sure that there is stability in that state. You know, they want to discourage illegality. You know, they come out and stood because that state belongs to them. The same thing is what is happening in Kano, and the same thing is being happening everywhere. In a situation where there is a denial of justice, nobody should expect justice. You know, tinubu represent, you know, bad omen for Nigeria, no matter how you look at it. You know. For 104 years now, you can see how Nigeria has able to struggle, even to crawl, not to even walk. You know, this Nigeria is getting to over 50-60 years now. They are still crawling, you know. So what does that tell you? It tells you that something somewhere is actually missing, you know. And they might be looking at it that the Yorubas and the Hausas seem to be enjoying the government the way they want, treating people anyhow they want, you know, putting their back, you know, distancing themselves from Igbo presidency, pretending as if they don't know what they are doing. Forgetting that in Southwest, Obasanjo was a president. They had their turn. South have had their turn, and it was turn for the South. What did the Yoruba man do? He came out and said it's his turn. When he knew that Igbo man supported Yenadua, no tribalism. Igbo man supported Obasanjo, no tribalism. Igbo man supported Abiola, no tribalism. But when it came to the turn of Igbo man, what did they do? You see the manipulative, demonic approach. The whole world is watching. We are also watching. Everybody is watching the development. But what has it led the Yorubas to now? What has it led the Hausas to? It has led to disgrace.
Disgrace?
Yes. It has led to disgrace. Look at how they are disgracing themselves. They cannot even fix Nigeria. Just to fix Nigeria. 104 years. 104 years. So what that man is trying to tell you is this, that Nigeria should leave Igbos alone. I'm not the one saying it. So you will not go around and say, I'm the one saying it. He's a Yoruba man, a reasonable, rational Yoruba man. He's telling you the whole world that what Igbos can do in Nigeria, Yorubas and Hausas cannot do it. So you will not go there and say, it's because it's this, that's what it is. It's your own people, your own people, your own people. So they are the ones saying it. No, it's wait,
what would have been done differently?
It's not what
would have been done differently?
No, it's not about Obi. What would have been done differently? You might not know. The kind of grace you have might be different from the one their brother has. If what is happening today tells you that tinubu will fail, maybe when he was jumping up in the Oyo state, Emiloko, you think he's going to do miracle. Have you seen it now? But he was here mimicking. Go to north. What is happening in the north? They are gradually, cutting Tinubu's tail everywhere. In Port Harcourt, they don't cut his tail. In Kano now, they don't cut his tail. They are weakening him politically. And the only option, the direction people are looking at is the Igbo presidency.
Can I put an end to that?
It's not going to put an end to agitation for sovereignty of Biafra anyway. But in the context of Nigeria gaining transformation, leaping from quadrum, dundrum to civilization is another factor. And the only people they can add a little salt to Nigeria, to whatever Nigeria is trying to do, add life to it, is the Igbo. Give Igbo man presidency. Whether he fails or not, he is due for it.
Whether the Igbo man fails or not,
it is due for it. It is his right. He has also right to succeed or to fail. But you can see the can't go. Now what they are waiting for now, that an Igbo man should troop to the street now. I said, Emiloko, no! Can't do that. Because when he's going there and shout Emiloko, the Emiloko street urchins will target his shop and destroy. He will lose. Because he knew that he has not benefited anything from federal government. He does not benefit anything from federal government. So that is just it.
That is just it.
No matter how you look at it, there is no national cohesion that carries the whole people together and advance them to reality of dividends of democracy, irrespective whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo. No.
Thank you for that wonderful submission of yours. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.